Hello there, time now for some business reports with me, Abigail Adumakoenchi. Now, officials of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, will early next month begin negotiations with Ghana over a possible bailout for the country. The IMF disclosed this in a statement issued over the weekend to announce their receipt of Ghana's formal request for a fund program with it. Meanwhile, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Hannah Tete, has told the Reuters news agency that Ghana's engagement with the IMF is rather meant to win the endorsement for government's own fiscal reform program rather than just a bailout. She adds that the engagement should give a stamp of international credibility to the government's reform plan ahead of the third Eurobond sale to raise $1.5 billion. Away from the IMF bailout or program, whatever it is, the Skills Development Fund of COTVET has since its inception in 2011 supported 450 institutions with a funded resource envelope of $60 million from Danida and the World Bank. With just about $20 million remaining, managers of the fund say they are in talks with government to pass a law to ensure grant awardees give back to the SDF a percentage of their profits to sustain it.
Bank and Danida put the investment in SDF for a 5-year period, after which the government and COTVET are supposed to work together to identify other sources of funding for SDF. If you can demonstrate verifiably that the investment that has been made is being put to good use and that firms are getting these benefits, then it shouldn't be too difficult to get funding into SDF for continue our work. One way we could do that is to ask the firms that have been getting grants, who have seen a 4-fold increase in output, to put a bit of their profit into the fund. Just a bit of profit into the fund. Another way is to identify other funding agencies in the country whose TEF we also at. For example, the EDIFE fund, is financing agricultural projects. The technical support element, we are doing most of it. So it might perhaps make a good case to ask EDIFE to put just a bit of the fund into,
So let me just come in a bit. It means that it's not what you are doing now. You are proposing the things that could be done.
Yes, well, now we have an ongoing engagement with industry, with source of funding, to make a case to them to get funding into SDF. It's running out in 2 years, 2016 June, by which time we wouldn't have a lot of money around, by which time we believe that we would have gotten some money from other sources other than the World Bank and Danida into SDF to continue our work. We need a law to require firms to do this. So we have been working on legislative instruments to get this done. Elsewhere in Africa, businesses pay payroll tax. The people that the grants go to train are the ones who are the beneficiaries primarily of the grant support, because their skills are being enhanced. One day they may decide to leave the company. Wherever they go, they're going to get a higher, pay and so on and so forth. The value to themselves is higher. And so elsewhere, they levied a small payroll tax which comes into the fund. That is the primary source of funding for SDF going forward. I'm sure before the year ends, you would have enough information about how this is turning out. We have been talking to government and other agencies and readying a bill which will be discussed and hopefully passed for implementation.
Africa has launched a cash transfer service, Wari Money Transfer, aimed at meeting the needs of the unbanked Ghanaian population. The service, according to the bank, is convenient for people who wish to receive and send cash both locally and outside the country.
National Wari is currently available at all 19 branches of Bank of Africa in Ghana and is expected to be rolled in other banks in the country, including First Atlantic Bank, Express Funds Transfer, as well as rural banks and savings and loans facilities.
At the moment, we have a lot more remittances platform in the country that do almost the same thing. But what Wari does different is that the rate of errors that is associated with somebody sending money, sending the code to somebody, the person going to the banking hall or the agent to collect the money and getting the code wrong and not be able to do it and not be able to have access to the funds, it eliminates it, because a code is generated as soon as the transaction is done, it's processed, and that code is generated and sent automatically to the beneficiary of the funds if the beneficiary of the funds have a mobile phone. So once you have a mobile phone, the code is sent to you. The only thing that you need is to pick your mobile phone, even if you cannot write. Pick your mobile phone with your ID card and go to any of the Wari agents, and voila, you are ready to go.
The Wari platform offers a cheap tariff structure and is accessible by all, including the unbanked.
For Wari transaction, it's in banks. And so, for instance, if you are sending between 1 Ghana cedis and 5 Ghana cedis, you are charged 30 pesos. From 5.1 Ghana cedis to 10 Ghana cedis, you are charged 40 pesos in that order. Okay, but if you compare that tariff band to other funds transfers that we have, Wari is far cheaper.
Although Wari will be competing with existing money transfer systems including MoneyGram and Western Union, officials of the Bank of Africa are confident Wari will succeed due to its flexibility.
MoneyGram and Western Union are mainly international. I mean, they don't really play on the domestic transfer market. Wari is both. Once the infrastructure is developed locally, the infrastructure overseas, you heard, I mean, it's available in Asia, in the States, in Europe. It will compete then for the international segment. But technology would always be, I mean, the MTN, Airtel money, etc., would always be in the market, I mean, for transferring or helping in financial intermediation. So we don't see it as a threat. We see it as deepening, further deepening, and providing more option to our customers and to the market.
The Bank of Africa, meanwhile, says even though people in Ghana cannot transfer funds abroad using Wari, they can receive money from anywhere across the globe.
That'll be all for business. I'm Abigail Adumakwenchi. Keep abreast with business news on myjoyonline.com. There's more news coming up this day.